everyone, welcome back to a new lesson. I'm Kalani. Do you believe that learning from mistakes can be the best way of learning? Yes, it is. So in today's lesson, we are going to learn 5 common mistakes made by many speakers of English while using the present continuous tense. Well, we all make mistakes and sometimes we don't even recognize them. But when we repeat a mistake, it can become a bad habit. So I'm going to help you get rid of such bad habits. Well, let's see the 5 common mistakes that you're probably making while using the present continuous tense, and also I'm going to teach you how to fix them. But before that, let's have a quick look at the present continuous tense, which is also known as the present progressive tense, and how it is formed and when to use it, because that will help you recognize your mistakes. As you know, the present continuous tense is formed using am, is, are followed by an ing verb. For an example, I am teaching you English at the moment. Well, let's see when to use the present continuous tense, and I'm going to tell you 5 uses of it. First, to talk about actions happening at this moment, right now. For an example, I am teaching you the present continuous tense at the moment. And what are you doing? Obviously, you are watching my video. Secondly, to talk about actions happening during this time. I mean, these days, nowadays, it is not necessarily at this time, at this moment, right? So, for an example, you can say, I am reading for my PhD. But right now, you are doing something else. But these days, I am reading for my PhD. Thirdly, to talk about a temporary state, also you can use the present continuous tense. Well, you know stative verbs, right? So, when you say, I am a lecturer, am, there is no action, it is just a state, right? So, to talk about a temporary state, it is like this. Let's say, generally, you are a kind person. You are polite, kind, and well disciplined. But at this moment, you are talking to me in a rude manner. So I can say, you are being so rude. You are being so rude. It is in the present continuous tense, because this is not something permanent. It is a temporary state, right? So fourth one, you can also use the present continuous tense to talk about a future event already arranged or a pre-planned action. For an example, my parents are returning to Sri Lanka next week. It is pre-planned, already arranged. Lastly, you can use the present continuous tense to talk about a repeated behavior. It's like this. You can say, my mom is always scolding me. Well, she's always scolding me, right? Or another example, she's always laughing at others. She's always laughing at others. Or let's take, why are you always shouting at me? Yes, so we have taken so many examples for that. Well, that is how we use the present continuous tense. But we have this bad habit of overusing anything, right? And we do the same with the present continuous tense. And finally, the overuse of the present continuous tense leads to mistakes or errors. Well, we are going to see the common mistakes that many people make while using the present continuous tense. See whether you are making these mistakes too. Mistake number 1. I often hear people say, he's having a nice car. Or something like, this is my sister, she is having 2 kids. Did you know that it's incorrect to say so? Because when you say he's having a nice car, the verb have in that sentence is not an action verb. It is a stative verb, it indicates a possession. So with stative verbs, you cannot use the present continuous tense. Instead, you use the simple present tense. So correct it, he has a nice car. Or you can say, she has 2 kids. It's not that she is having 2 kids. Mistake number 2. Introducing yourself to another person, you might say, I'm coming from Sri Lanka. Well, when I say I'm coming from Sri Lanka, I mean to say that Sri Lanka is my country, or I am from Sri Lanka. It is not that I'm coming from Sri Lanka right now, right? So you have to correct it. I come from Sri Lanka, or you say I am from Sri Lanka. Similarly, you might say he is coming from a poor family. You mean to say that he belongs to a poor family. So it is not that he is coming from a poor family. You have to correct it. He comes from a poor family. Mistake number 3. Talking about one's career, I've heard many people saying, I'm working for ABC company and we are producing stationery. Both the sentences are incorrect. Because when you say, I'm working for ABC company, it is not something temporary. It's some permanent situation. So you have to correct it. I work for ABC company and we produce stationery. Stationery can be the main product of your company. So you have to use the simple present tense. We produce stationery. Mistake number 4. Well, this is another situation where you overuse the present continuous tense. I've heard many people saying that car is belonging to me. Or you would say, I'm sorry, that house is sold out and now it's belonging to Mr. Collins. Is belonging to. It is incorrect. Because the verb belong again indicates a possession. There is no action, it is a steady verb. And you know that with steady verbs you cannot use the present continuous tense. It has to be in the simple present tense. So you correct it, that car belongs to me. Or you can say, that house now belongs to Mr. Collins. It belongs to Mr. Collins, the simple present tense. So do not overuse the present continuous tense. Be careful when you use it. Mistake number 5. Well, you may have noticed many people making this mistake. They say, this book is consisting of 12 chapters. Well, the verb consist means it's made of. So it is not an action verb. It is a non-action verb. So you have to say it in the simple present tense. It is like, this book consists of 12 chapters. It is not that this book is consisting of. It has to be, this book consists of 12 chapters. Many people know how the present continuous tense is formed using a be verb followed by an ing verb. So the problem is not that you don't know the present continuous tense. The problem is sometimes you get confused between the simple present tense and the present continuous tense. Especially, the mistakes that you learned today mainly occur due to the overuse of the present continuous tense. You overuse it when you actually have to use the simple present tense. So do not overuse the present continuous tense. Use the tenses correctly.